Hello, everybody. My name is Bright Rose, and welcome into a different type of video. It is probably not a great surprise to you out there, because I've talked about it randomly at some times. I am a massive One Piece fan. I have been reading One Piece weekly for, it must be over 2 decades now. It is ridiculous the amount of time I have been reading that, and I have most definitely not been reading it as long as it has been out. But I am a weekly reader. I love One Piece. And today we're going to just mess around and we're going to do a few little tier lists. Starting off, well, we're going to rank the Straw Hats. And this is just going to, of course, be my personal opinion. We are not going to do power scaling or things like that, unless I find a tier list that does power scaling. But we are just going to go purely off my feelings of how much I like the specific Straw Hats, and there are probably not going to be any of them down in these bottom bits, but let's go. So, should we do this in order of crew, or... yeah, let's do it in order of crew. Right. Luffy, our captain, and first of all, controversially, I'm going to put him in A. I really like Luffy. There's so many things I like about him. He's an entertaining character. Yes, he has some flaws, but this just makes him a well-rounded character, and I'm putting him in A. And there is one singular reason why I'm putting Luffy in A, and that will become apparent shortly. Okay, where is he? Our future greatest swordsman in the world, Zoro. Again, I really like Zoro. In fact, I probably like Zoro more than I like Luffy. However, I'm going to put them as equals because I probably get the same amount of enjoyment out of both Zoro and Luffy. So I'm going to put them up there, right? And Nami, where are you going, Nami? If I could have a, say, B+, I would probably put, because I do like Nami, I like the character. She had some great story arcs here and there. I think it's brilliant. Some moments, especially the emotional moments with Nami, are brilliant. However, I just don't enjoy her as much as these two. So you're going in B. Right, where is Usopp? Also, if I get this order wrong, that's going to be really embarrassing. But I don't care. Right, Usopp. I like Usopp. I like the underdog. I'm sorry, though. I'm going to put him in C. Oh, people are going to hate me. But I'm going to put him in C. He's going in C. Right. Sanji. Oh, and this is going to make people really hate me. Probably. Some people won't. But I do like Zoro better than Sanji. And quite honestly, I think the Mr. Prince stuff in the Alabasta arcs, way back in the pre-time skip, was a lot more enjoyable than everything that he did in Whole Cake Island. I'm just saying it, and I'm going to put him in C. Everything he did, the Mr. Prince stuff in Alabasta, the stuff that he did during the Enin's lobby arc, going around, kicking open the door, finding the control to the gates of justice. Brilliant. I liked him a lot more. Yep. No, I'm going with it. I'm just sticking with that. Right. Next, a Tony Chopper. I have a soft spot for Chopper. I do. I do. I know people talk about his old original design versus his new design. I'm one of those people that actually likes his new design better than his old design. Come at me in the comments if you want, but that's the way it is. And now, we come to the reason why these two are in A. Nico Robin, you are in S. I will always love Robin. I love her backstory. I love her motivation. I love the scenes. Enin's lobby and Water 7 was one of the very first arcs I started reading, so all of the I Want to Live stuff with Robin was just brilliant. I love her dark sense of humor. I love Robin. She's my favorite Straw Hat. She's my favorite character. That's it. I'm not defending it. That's it. Frankie. Look, okay. I'm going to admit this. I am a Frankie fan. I like Frankie. I have enjoyed him since his first appearance in Water 7. He's going up here. He's going up there. He just is. I think there's a lot more. I am eternally sad that there was not more Frankie stuff in Egghead. I would have loved to have seen it. Would have absolutely loved to have seen it, but that's just the way it is. Brook, Monsieur Brook, the Soul King himself, musician of the Straw Hats. Again, I like him. He's going to go in B, because I do enjoy Brook. I love the grandpa of the crew, but he doesn't get enough. He doesn't do enough. He just doesn't. The scenes in Wano with the raid on Onigashima, where we had the pairing of Brook and Robin sharing their collective trauma, the loss of family, of their people, of their crews, things like that. It was brilliant. I loved it. He just doesn't get a showing. He just doesn't. And I am one of those people that is eternally interested in the workings of the One Piece world, of the lore, of the things like that behind it. And I think that Brook's Devil Fruit, along with things like Big Mom's Soul Fruit, are so fascinating, because there's just so much there that needs to be poked. This is a man who has died. He has died, and his Devil Fruit gave him a second chance at life, and he came back as a skeleton. This is a man who wields the flame and the cold of the underworld. He can separate his soul from his body. There is so much more lore potential that is built up in Brook, and we haven't seen it. And I want to see more. I just do. Oh, right, over. Jinbei. I love Jinbei. He's a great character. I want to see more details that we have seen through his actions and things like that, way back from the Fisher Tiger stuff, releasing Arlong into the world and how it affected the Straw Hats and things like that. The stance that he took going to Impel Down during the whole Ace saga was brilliant. It really endeared Jinbei to me. Do I like him enough to put him somewhere here? Because I definitely don't like Jinbei as much as these three. You know what? For the sake of neatness and the fact that I cannot decide, and I am not making 0.5 tiers, Jinbei is going in C. There it is. Things might change. Opinions of characters and things like that based on their actions can change every arc, and we'll see what happens. However, as we're reading through Elbaf, we'll see what happens with that. But honestly, there you go. That's where I'm putting them. Yeah. Come for me in the comments if you want to, but that's what I'm going for. Okay, let's look at the One Piece arcs. And just looking at them laid out like this really doesn't do justice for just how much content is in there. Okay, let's go. East Blue. We are going to start with East Blue. It is the beginning. It is wonderful. I enjoyed it so much. However, looking back at everything that happens in East Blue with the context of everything that came after it, it feels weird. Because ultimately, it's the first arc, it's Oda setting the world off, and so much has changed, has been shown, has developed, has been introduced in the following arcs. East Blue just feels weird, to be honest. It just does. But it is a good, solid arc, and it is ultimately the benchmark for what everything else is going to be measured against. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in B. Drum Island. Drum Island, again, is a very solid arc. It introduces Chopper, Chopper, Dr. Hero Look. Their background is beautiful. It's heartbreaking. It is a wonderful thing to have read and to have watched. We won't talk about the episode of Chopper. But it's not one of my favourites, honestly. It has so many good points, but it doesn't stand out to me, is the problem. And for that reason, because I like it, but because it doesn't stand out particularly, it's going in B again. Rock Books, you're just going straight into A, because Arabasta is brilliant. Of course, it's not just Arabasta. It starts way back, right at the start of the Grand Line. And it weaves all the way through from the Whiskey Peak on, technically, bits of Drum Island as well. And going through, it's just, love it. Great, brilliant. It introduced Crocodile. This is where we got the 7 Warlords. Crocodile is ultimately the reason why One Piece has gone on as long as it has. It was just brilliant. I loved it. Right. Skypiea. Sorry, let's just do the meme. Don't skip Skypiea. Do not skip Skypiea. It is so wonderfully relevant. It gave us Enil. It is wonderful. I really enjoyed Skypiea. There is so much in that arc. It's great. Going in A. Davy Back Fight. Long Ring Long Land. I have an admission. I have a solid admission I have to get off my chest, and I'm just going to put this in C for now. However, the Davy Back Fight might drop. It might actually go into D, because for quite a while, and I don't know why this happened, I kind of thought that Long Ring Long Land and the Davy Back Fight stuff was anime filler. And that's just the thing. I look back at it and think, how did I think that? But there you go. That's what it is, and for that reason, it is below these. Water 7, love Water 7. Do I put it in here? It is one of my favourite arcs. It's when I started reading weekly. Water 7, Enin's Lobby, brilliant arcs. So much tension, so much great things that went on during that. Such depth, sort of emotion that you felt in those arcs. I'm going to drop it into... I'm going to put it in A. I'm going to put it in A for now. I'm going to think about it. Thriller Bark. I love Thriller Bark. You go straight into A. Nothing wrong with it. I love it. Some people don't like it. I love Thriller Bark. I think it's wonderful. Sabodi, however you want to pronounce it. It's a good arc. It is a good arc. But it just... I think you remember the arc for the end of the arc. But there's so many good bits. It introduced so many characters, actually. Now I'm going back through it. Wow. Now my head is just going through them all. We got the Celestial Dragons for the first time. We got the information about the human auction and things like that. We got the Worst Generation and that whole raft of characters that's going to affect everything. We got new Marines in the shape of the Admirals, and it is just brilliant. However, I don't like it as much as these ones, so it's going to go in B. Summit War. Marineford. A lot happened in Marineford. we are still feeling the effects of it now in what is being shaped in the world. However, did I enjoy it as much? I suppose when you think about it, the Summit War technically does involve things like the build up to it. So we have things like Impel Down wrapped into there as well. Does that push it higher? No, I don't think it does. And I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as I did these arcs. So it's going to go there. Fishman Island. First major arc since the time skip. Generally considered to be the weakest of the post-time skip arcs. It was really, for me at least, just a display of the Straw Hats' power. That was it. It was a chance to show what the Straw Hats had learned during the time skip, and I just didn't enjoy it as much. Yes, we got some great background, some great lore, we got some establishment of things that were to come. Did I enjoy it as much? No, I didn't. I didn't. And if I'm honest, I'm gonna put it in C. Punk Hazard's going in C as well, actually. I'm just going to throw that in there. I didn't enjoy the arc as much as I wanted to. I really wanted to enjoy it. The sort of mad scientist, crazy, horrible weapons and things like that. I just didn't enjoy it as much. Really didn't. Oh, this is going to be a bit controversial. I am going to put Dressrosa up in A because I really quite enjoyed it. I loved Doflamingo as a protagonist. I thought it was a really interesting island to be on. It's going up there. Zoe, there are some very good points in Zoe. It's not going to go higher than B though. It just isn't. Whole Cake Island. I did like Whole Cake Island. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the display of what one of the four emperors, Big Mom specifically, obviously, and her crew were like. It was an amazing display. Seeing Big Mom's army march out to go and destroy Luffy, in a way, was amazing. That was the raw power that we saw of one of the four emperors. Going in B. Reverie. A lot of interesting things that happened. A lot more world plot that went on there. However, it wasn't greatly interesting. And for that reason, I'm probably going to put it in C. Wano. Now, this is going to be controversial because people aren't going to like me for this. But I really enjoyed Wano. It gave us so much stuff. Some brilliant new characters, some amazing lore facts that we dived into. They were brilliant. Seeing the new lore stuff coming again and again and again throughout Wano was really good. The introduction of Kaido was amazing. I will remember those transformations and that appearance. I thought it was brilliant. All the stuff. However, this is a big however. I'm going to put it in S, because personally, and this is my own personal opinions, I really enjoyed Wano. However, and this is the big asterisk, the big caveat that goes with this, it really felt long. And there was stuff in Wano that felt like it was stretched out and it didn't really need to be there. Yes, I'm talking about Big Mom's amnesia arc. That was a bit weird. The whole Big Mom Pirates being there as a thing was a bit all over the place, which was strange. There was a lot of characters bouncing around, not really having places to be, I'm thinking Sanji, I'm thinking Yamato. They ran all over, well, specifically Onigashima, just doing bits and pieces here and there. But we always knew, because it's the way it works. It's the way it works in One Piece, it's the way it works in shonen mangas. Luffy was always going to fight Kaido. Zoro was always going to fight King. Sanji was always going to fight Queen. That was just going to be the way it was. And it took so long to bounce around and get there. It was weird. And there was lots of stuff that didn't tie up properly for me. Also, we're not going to talk about the whole Shanks tie-in to Film Red thing. I didn't like that. That is probably the reason why, ultimately, Yamato didn't become a crew member. And whatever. But there was so much, and in terms of what happened in the fandom during and because of events in Wano, it's almost making me want to bring it down to A. But again, I really enjoyed it. Now we're going to move on to Egghead, which I am just going to put... Again, this is really difficult because I enjoyed Egghead. Again, the amount of stuff, the amount of lore, the amount of information that we got from Egghead, because obviously, as you can probably tell, I'm a massive lore buff in these things, was really good. Do I think it was a little bit underdone? Do I think that there could have been more? Am I a bit bitter because Frankie didn't get more attention during Egghead when it was really, his arc? That is probably what all those negative points is probably what is taking it down from S to A. So I think I will drop it there. Now, is there anything else that I think should be changed? No, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with those. People are going to hate me. People are going to hate me for having Wano up there in S-Class, but to be honest, I don't care. Because I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of stuff in there that was really fun to see. But, again, I'm saying that with all of the negative points that came with that arc. But there we go. That's what I'm going to go for. That is my arc tier list. Okay, and the one I suspect we have all been waiting for, the waifu tier list. So, let's begin with